If it was me, I'd personally play on the slower end just because I think some of these players, whether they like it or not, have to sort of respect what the average player is on the map, even in these regular pub games, right? Even outside of sort of the arena playlist, the average player is just so much better. And keep in mind, these are going to be essentially duo squads, right? So you do have the potential to face against 4 players at once who definitely know what they're doing, know how to build edit, know how to take your wall, know how to do all these moves that their favorite pro players do, because Fortnite's been out for a little while now.
Just a little while.
Just a tad.
Yeah, they absolutely are. We'll see exactly how things start to form out, as right now in terms of Aiden and Sway, they actually have decided to make their presence felt when it comes to Pleasant Park. Already tossing in a few of those stink bombs. Like we said, wanting to get in the action early will be the key for them. And like we said, versus a very difficult roster, right? Shipping and along with Diggy, very talented players. We've seen Diggy play previously with Benny, both have faced, and those guys can absolutely put up some numbers. And really, just in one tournament, they were instantly a top 4 type squad and already getting involved in the fight as Aiden actually drops what has a ton of players around him. But thankfully, Sway will be there for the pickup. So that's going to be nice for them a little bit early, having some issues. They'd rather stay alive for now.
Yeah, he did that with a great pistol as well, right? So that could have gotten dicey. You could see the player above him built pretty quickly. It looked like they did have a pump shotgun. Of course, that will be now in the hands likely of Aiden and Sway. But like I mentioned earlier, the average player is quick. That build that came up, that wasn't from his teammate. That was from the opponents. That's why I say that obviously it's been a few months. And if it's me, like, you have to, at least in the beginning, start respecting the average player, because you never know. Like, you could get caught off guard.
Right, performing as advertised are these players, and this is, again, really where you have to hit these shots. And some nice peppering right there. There we go. Get the knot. Great shot right there. And, this is one of the areas that hasn't changed a ton. And we saw this become a more popular rotation in the later weeks of Friday Fortnite back before we went on hiatus. But Loot Lake's still pretty profitable, especially if you come here in the mid-game.
See exactly what these guys kind of have in the bag right now. It looks as if, someone just above, and of course with the TAC SMG, low health, and that will instantly be exploited. As we'll kind of watch Diggy's reaction to this, and so obviously instantly decides to pepper up that player who exists just above, and thankfully does have a TAC SMG in his arsenal as well. Trying to figure out exactly where the enemy happens to be at, floating away. And trying to get someone of a different point of view, considering, like we said, his teammate is down, having a lot of work still to be done. And a lot of thoughts, I'm sure, happening at this moment. Still hanging from above 30 HP, but he does take him down. One shot makes it land, even with a great attack shotty. He will just narrowly make it work. But I got to say it, both of our teams so far have struggled in some capacity, as Aiden just gets pretty much sidelined off the top of those builds.
Once
got chokeslam.
Go ahead and save his teammate once again. This is the second time now that Aiden has gone down. He got him the first time. Can he do it again? Getting shot, but it sounded like the content pistol was into play, whether it was his opponents. He's got very, very low health. Currently kind of surrounded. Yeah, it seems to be a bubble shield. He's going to use that as sort of...
Looking like, again, more of it's going to have to go down there. So you guys talked about the skill-based matchmaking and the change it would have. I was not expecting the team to have this much trouble getting out of Pleasant.
And a great play by Sway so far. It looks like, however, that Aiden will have to be rebooted. Looks like Sway has gone ahead and picked up everyone over in Pleasant Park, at least for now. Every time we think that the area is cleared, more players seem to come and find them.
I think the quote from Sway was, "That was scuffed." Like, literally, just that entire time was so stressful. Hopefully we could just move forward and maybe get out of here. But we'll actually take a look at this again. I know we saw it on Aiden's perspective. Diggy instantly, just a shot and a half, brought down to 24 health. That's every single one of our players right now. For these guys to kind of get maybe a few of the early struggles out of the way, kind of get a few of these strategies in lock in terms of where they want to drop, what's their ideal landing spot, could be very beneficial. Like we said, having this grappling gun is so important to escape from situations like that. But here come the shots already. Suppressed AR, and that's going to do all the damage that he needs, taking down the first. But here comes a player just below, instantly grabbing that high ground advantage. That's going to be call-outs surely coming through from Diggy, but Shipping, unfortunately, is not going to be able to grab or help him out in time as he's so low on health. A player decides to vacate the area, but can't manage to do so without losing their life. That's going to be pretty much smooth sailing, no pun intended, for these two, as there is, I believe, maybe 1-2 players left.
Yeah, Shipping's pretty low on health right here. Has to be careful. You can see Diggy trying to locate their opponents. Shipping does, in fact, go down. So Diggy left to kind of clean up the rest of his teammates' fight right now. They are going to need the full elim as well. First shot comes in with the pump. Staircase made right above him. Gets good for the reload. We don't know exactly how many players is in front of him. That's going to be a down on one of them. Teammate, you can kind of hear to his left. Takes one shot. It's going to be a miss. It's going to be a big kill right now. Get that reboot card. Try to finish off these last few elims. Couple missed shots. He does get taken down to 60 HP right now. One more pump shotgun would likely do it for me. You see him start to reset. Happens to find a slurp juice sitting right at the bottom. Make that 2, actually.
Common last words, if you will, but we'll see if he can keep it up. Losing a little bit of health, but like we said, does have that slurp juice, which is going to continually give him some much-needed HP being targeted from all point of views. And that Tech SMG is doing so much work. And despite holding on for as long as they did, it will be still slim numbers and slim advantages for either which way. I say tilted, it's Gotham, but you know,
I feel like it's always going to be tilted in our hearts, though.
It will be.
Right, they can name it whatever they want. Batman can come over and do his thing. Like that's always going to be, and at least in my mind, that's always going to be Tilted Towers until they, I don't know, a new map. Like you said, there's a new map rumored all the time.
Right.
Until that happens, this is always Tilted Towers to me. And he's back. He's back home.
He is. I think 3 of the 4 players
and
there
it has not.
instantly.
No.
I'm good behind that. He's right on the other side of the building.
They need call-outs. They need some support. Low amount of resources, which could be the issue for Sway. We know how talented he can be when those things are put up. And he will win it regardless. Back in Gotham City, just on the outskirts, but living on the edge indeed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't need it.
They're going to, however, go ahead and get some safety. You can see taking a pretty low health right now. No shield. Diggy kind of right in the mix, right in between a number of players surrounding him. Shots coming from all directions. He gets hit in the back. The content pistol, we see it. Normally it uses mobility. Now we're seeing it used offensively. That's going to take down one of Aiden and Sway's opponents right now. Can Diggy make the clutch? Going to go for one. The shot's going to come in. There's only 50% health left. Make that 12 HP. Gets one down. Can he make the second? One more shot would likely kill him. And it does, in fact, take him out.
Oh, man.
Diggy and Shippings did not learn the lesson. If you play Friday Fortnite, do not go to Pleasant Park.
Oh, there's 40 players left. I feel like in what, weeks ago, this would be, oh, there's 5 players alive. Like, it just seems as if the pace has really slowed down for everybody after the recent updates that have come through. But here we go. Like we said, 3 eliminations is what they need to go for the tie, and they've seemed to be in a great situation to already make that happen, as Aiden will be a part of a double.
Wait, they're alive. Oh, no, they're not.
He can take down this player's Sway. Nice opportunity for a flank. Shots being made, echoing all throughout Gotham City, as there's the first knock, and that should be the tie. Manages to get it done, and there are more shots still to be had. Once a top point of view.
One's all the way high. One's all the way high.
And you hear Sway getting the call out saying, hey, someone's got the height advantage, taking some shots in the meantime, but the damage coming in from them is all the more expressive, as there's the knock, and that will do it. Sway and Aiden, despite having some issues, even despite dropping early on in game number 1, will come through and just narrowly take down a very solid roster that sat on the other side, and Ship and Diggy. As like we said, that's a sweat off the brow type situation. Going down to losers round 1, at least off the start, would not be oh so kind, but like I said, a lot of that came from this early on play, right? If Sway drops in this situation, the entire game is all but different. Comes up clutch for the roster, gets Aiden back in the fray. A few of the matches have already broken down. Like we said, guys, feel free. Use exclamation point bracket in the chats. Like we said, some interesting matchups going through. We've got Keemstar along with Teskey making it forward, as they will now face off against the qualifier winners there at the top, Skills & Co. We've also got Camo and Cooler Aqua moving forward, and I believe that their next matchup should be against Typical Gamer and EXO, as I believe they have, in fact, won that game. So we'll get that one updated here on the graphic here shortly. Along with that, we've got Thieves and Swan moving forward, as well as Aiden and Sway. Still a few matches kind of to go, but any surprises, maybe any just interesting notes to think about a few of the matches that have already gone down?
I would say the top 4 seeds, or at least the teams that we would probably have put there, have made it, which tells me that even with all these changes, they were able to at least adapt quick enough, or maybe mitigate the damage is the best way to call it. Certainly not a clean win that we got to see on stream. Of course, we didn't get to see the others, but I think so far it's business as usual for these top teams.
For me and Landon, you know I love these guys. The qualifier teams.
Yep.
Those are always my favorite to watch throughout these tournaments. Obviously, within Friday Fortnite, with other stuff we did Sunday Showdown, I always love seeing the qualifier teams because there are still, and I even believe this still, Fortnite's been out for quite some time now, there are still so many unknown players out there, so much unknown talent that is waiting to show itself. And tournaments like these can be where they do that. And so we're starting to see qualifier teams. We've seen them for many, many times now upset, top ranking pros, right? Upset, big content creators, whatever it may be. And now we're seeing another team with 2 people from the qualifier showing out and trying to make a run. And their next match was one that I know you were looking out for quite a bit, right? A team that you said was sort of your dark horse land. And so I'm looking forward to potentially seeing the scoreline from those 2 teams duking it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that could be one that is incredibly close. I would be interested to kind of see maybe even the regions, whether or not the qualifier team, where they kind of come from in comparison to what will most likely be an EU host. But like I said, I kind of agree with you guys. I think, a lot of the teams that have kind of made forward, not too much of a surprise to see those names on paper into the next round. But still, one match that we are waiting on in terms of winners round 1 is actually Alex Ramy and Kurt Benkert, right, versus Nick A30 and FaZe Replays. I'll be honest, I would be somewhat surprised if Nick A30 and FaZe Replays didn't move forward, but you never know, right? Kurt, maybe he's coming through, giving the calls, helping out alongside Alex Ramy, who we know is a fantastic player as well. Maybe kind of venture on into the next round. The only problem, though, is whoever makes it into the next round has to take on Thieves and Sway. So it's, or rather Thieves and Swan, excuse me. So that's not going to be the easiest matchup for